what is up guys? Welcome back to another episode of ReaperCast. Today I wanted to talk about the remaining cards that are coming out in Battle of Chaos. There's only 8 cards to go over, so that is going to be great. Let's finish it off really strong here because of the fact that we've been going over all the cards that have been set to be released in Battle of Chaos, and every single one has been really impressive. Honestly, at this point, even if these cards are bad, these remaining cards are bad, I'm sure everyone's going to be buying into Battle of Chaos. It's a really amazing set, and there's no doubt that this might be one of the best sets of this entire year. But before I get started, let me remind you guys to consider dropping a like, share, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Also hit that bell notification, it really does help. But with that being said, let's begin. So the first card we have over here is called Epigonon, the Immatarian, a level 7 light rock effect monster of 2000 attack and defense. You can only use this card's name's effect once per turn. You can tribute one effect monster, special summon this card from your hand, then special summon one Epinogos token, level 1 with 0 attack and defense with the same original type and attribute as the monster you tributed. That's not too bad actually. I mean, you just get rid of one monster and you in exchange get 2 monsters, so it's really nice here to go for link climbing. It's also good to see it's generic, but seeing that it's a rock type, you could actually play this in Megaliths. As for the next card, we have here Submerlead, the Sightseeing Ship, a level 6 water dinosaur effect monster of 2200 attack and 0 defense. You can only use this card's first effect once per turn. So first effect, if you control a normal monster, you could special summon this card from your hand. That's absolutely amazing, already seeing that this would work in Phantasm Spiral. Otherwise, you could actually just splash it in so many decks out there. Even dinosaurs would actually work with this, to be honest. As for the second effect, once per turn, the first time a normal monster you control battles an effect monster, it is not destroyed by that battle. I mean, that's fantastic. It just gives more normal monsters a chance to actually fight out there. But even so, this is not necessarily a bad card. I could see this being a really good tech in so many decks out there. Being a level 6, you could actually go for very high level Synchro summons, or perhaps even rank 6 XC summonings. And of course, you could always just go for a link summon if you need to. Otherwise, the next card we have here is called Lepris, the Withered Flounder, level 3 Dark Psychic effect monster. With attack and defense as a question mark, you can only use this card's first effect once per turn. So first effect, during your standby phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard and your opponent has more cards in their graveyard than you do, you can special summon this card. That's not bad, it's at least during your standby phase, but to be honest, it still doesn't really do too much out there. As for the second effect, gains 200 attack and defense for each card in your opponent's graveyard. That might be interesting, but again, it doesn't really do too much. Maybe the first effect could be used if you were to be a bit more strategic about it, but given that this is a level 3 Dark Psychic, it's hard to incorporate into a deck. Maybe you could try to incorporate it with E-Teles, but that's almost as if you're forcing in an engine to actually make it work or anything like that, and giving you the potential to have a future card. And I just think that there's so many more cards out there that are better options. The next card we have here is called Peacelia, a level 4 light rock effect monster of 700 attack and 2000 defense, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can put one peace counter on this card, max 4. Then you can apply one of these effects based on how many peace counters there are on this card. So if there's 1, take one monster from your deck and place it on top of your deck. That's not too amazing. If it's 2, draw 1 card, that's better. If it's 3, add 1 monster from your deck to your hand, that's even better. And if it's 4, add 1 card from your deck to your hand, that's very powerful, because that can mean any card out there. But of course, you have to keep in mind that to obtain these peace counters in the first place, it's already just a ridiculous kind of requirement there. So if anything, I might see this working in some kind of modified formats, but it's far too slow. Moving on here, we have Mecha Beast Deraton, a level 1 Dark Machine effect monster of question mark as an attack and 0 defense. Once per turn, you can activate this effect. This card's original attack becomes equal to the sum of the difference between the current attack and original attack of all monsters on the field, until the end of your opponent's turn. It's not bad, it's easy to summon out, just simply summon it out using 1 for 1, and of course this card is just simply a beat stick, it's really nice. Otherwise, we have our next card, Top Share, a normal spell card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Take 1 card from your deck, reveal it, then place it on top of your deck. Then your opponent takes 1 card from their deck, reveals it, and places it on top of their deck. Of course, you gotta be a bit careful about this. You might give your opponent a bit of a benefit, but if you know your cards right, you could definitely turn this into your advantage. However, I don't see this card being a game-changing card or anything like that. Next up, we have Uradora of Fate, a normal spell card. Pay 1000 life points, then target one face-up monster you control until the end of your opponent's turn. That monster gains 1000 attack, also apply this effect to it. When that monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can reveal the bottom card of your deck, and if you do, return it to either the top or bottom of the deck. If the revealed card was a dragon, dinosaur, sea serpent, or worm monster, draw one card for each 1000 attack that monster had, then gain 1000 life points for each card drawn. Wow, that's actually very impressive. You could actually make this really work in a Blue Ice deck, you can make this work in a dinosaur deck, you can make this work in, well, some kind of sea serpent deck, perhaps a legendary ocean, and of course you can make this work in the Phantasm Spirals as well. It's not a bad card at all, I actually really like this. The only tiny issue would be this is a normal spell card, but I don't think that's a big deal. I think this could actually work out really well. I could actually see myself playing this card. As for the final card, we have Tribe Drive, a normal trap card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. If there are 3 or more different types among monsters you control, choose 3 monsters from your deck with different types from each other that share a type with a monster you control. Have your opponent pick one of them at random, and you either add that card to your hand or special summon it. Place the other monsters on the bottom of the deck in any order. This is not necessarily the worst card, but it's not particularly a progressive card, given how slow it is. Even with Trap Trick being in here, it doesn't really do too much. However, that was pretty much all of the cards that were remaining in Battle of Chaos that we had to go over, so it is very exciting to see that this is now the complete set. I'm very excited. Even so, a few of these cards, they weren't too amazing, whereas a few of these other cards were definitely really great, but it's the overall set itself that makes me more interested in it. A lot of the cards we've already talked about are coming in that set, so it is worth buying at least one box of those. But who knows, the set is overall just something I'm really impressed about. But speaking of a set with some cards, we do have here the full checklist for Synchro Storm. This is just amazing. I mean, this is coming out not too far away, I guess. But to see a full list of this is definitely still really amazing, of course, because that way it gives you enough time to decide whether or not you want to buy this set. Now, if you guys have actually seen my previous episodes of Project E, you guys might already know that I got rid of my Speedroid deck, and yes, because of that, Synchro Storm does actually include Speedroids in there, so it's very likely that if there's not enough cards to support what I want for the remaining decks, I might not be interested in this set. However, with that being said, let's just find out what's actually in here by roughly going through what you guys could see as I put it up on the screen for you. So obviously you can see there is a lot of reprints here. We have the Clear Wing, which is nice. We have here a bunch of Speedroids going down. It looks like it's almost everything. I don't think it's every single Speedroid card out there, probably just the most important ones, so I'm sure you won't necessarily need to go out looking for a lot of the other cards to complete this. However, I still think it helps to have a lot of the older cards out there because you won't necessarily have everything. Now it looks like it spans about 19 cards in the set, which are all Speedroids. I guess that's great, but it depends how big this set is. I'm scrolling a bit to the bottom to see that there are 55 cards in this set, so the fact that it takes up a whole third of the actual set itself is definitely quite significant, because obviously I don't want to pull any of the Speedroid cards, and I just want the Fleur cards and the Lyrillus cards, which make up the other 2/3 of it. So I'm scrolling here now to see all of the Fleur cards. Very surprised to see it's a very small amount of cards actually. I believe it ends at Liberty at Last, which would be number 33, and it starts at number 20, so there are only 13 cards coming out for the Fleur deck. I guess that makes it easy to obtain all the cards you need to build the deck, but that might actually be quite disappointing in terms of the deck itself. Nevertheless, I don't think it's too difficult to obtain all of the cards to build the Fleur deck, so I will be attempting to build the Fleur deck. Maybe I'll pre-order the singles to guarantee that I get all the ultras or the supers before they go up in price, of course. And that way I could at least build a deck, and if I don't like it, then I simply just get rid of it. Now as for the final archetype, that would be the Lyrilusks, and they actually take up surprisingly not too much. They also take up a very small amount, so at 34 all the way to 45, so a mere 11 cards are actually Lyrilusk cards. So maybe these new cards, and I'm seeing a lot of new names here, so that's great of course. That's definitely going to propel Lyrilusk a lot, given that Lyrilusk has always just been working around just the simple 5 cards I believe. So to have like all these extra cards, you're giving us more than double the amount of Lyrilusk cards that already exist in the game. So unlike the flows, this would actually be a significant difference. But like I said before, if the majority of these cards are just commons, I might just easily be able to get them off as bulk, and whatever remaining as ultras or supers, I'll just pre-order the singles to ensure that I can actually build the deck. And I think during this particular era, pre-ordering the singles is definitely the most crucial thing. Cards can rise up in prices like crazy, and it's just definitely something you won't see coming. So my advice would be to do it as early as possible. However, for a bit of the reprints of some popular cards that might work out in any of these decks, given this whole set itself is focused around Synchro summoning, so with that being said, we obviously are going to be getting a lot of Synchro supportive cards. That will include a Quillbolt Hedgehog, Synchron Explorer, Unknown Synchron, Rush Warrior, Mariam the True Draco Phoenix, Stardust Warrior, Stardust Assault Warrior, Totem Bird, and Tornado Dragon, as well as Quill Pen of Goldos. Good amount of cards there, good variety. But overall, this set doesn't look like there's going to be too many significant or impactful cards, so it might actually be a really cheap set. However, there are no guarantees, so definitely check up your pre-orders, see the prices of these singles, how much are they being listed to, calculate what you actually need, whether or not it's better for you to actually just buy a box, open it up, hope for the best, or perhaps maybe it's better for you to just buy the singles, who knows. But all I know is I'm interested in only the Lyrilusks and the Fleur cards. I don't even care about the reprint generic cards in here, and I don't care about the Speedroids. But that might be a different case for you, so definitely let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, this video has gone on long enough, so thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time.